Hi, hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Nebula Jazz. This is week number 8, week 8, Nebula Jazz. Welcome, everyone. Before I get reacquainted with my lovely fellow cast members, I know that in the weeks since we began this show, you've been thinking to yourself, "What a disgusting human body I have here. How could I dress it in a way that would both hide it from the world and also show how much I love Nebula Jazz?" We have an
I think
answer
that every
for you.
day.
Yeah, I know,
Every
right?
day.
You just want to cover your disgusting shame.
Every day.
And God, wouldn't it be great if some space empire destroyed Earth? But until that happens, you can cover your shame with a RollPlay t-shirt. Now available, teespring.com/store/RollPlay. You can get it in Nebula Jazz and Court of Swords flavor. Go check it out.
Good pitch.
Thank you. Thank you. Cover your shame, everybody.
Confident.
Yeah, everybody.
There it is.
Cover yourselves up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally body shaming. On Nebula
Literally.
Jazz. All
Yeah.
bodies are gross.
All
Please
of them.
buy our shirts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not picking on any one specific kind of body. Just they're all gross. Humans are disgusting.
All bodies are gross. Yeah.
Cover up. How's everybody been doing? Wait, hold on, Jesse. I just want to go straight in for the big target. I know it's been
Yes?
an emotional week for you, Jesse.
Go on.
Star Wars.
Yes.
How are you feeling about Star Wars, Jesse?
So good, dude. So good. In the
good.
last 48 hours, I've seen the Season 4 Rebels trailer. I've seen Battlefront 2's trailer, and I've seen the trailer for Last Jedi. I'm doing good. I'm doing great, y'all. I'm doing great. I want you to know, all my nerdiness has finally paid off. For years. 4 years. All that expanded universe bullshit didn't even matter. Didn't even matter. It was like, who cares? But now it's all coming together. Everything's included, y'all. If you don't get in on expanded universe, you're missing out. So fuck you, half-ass nerd.
It's
Fuck
nice.
you.
It's
You're
nice
missing
to
out.
it's nice to have all that energy rewarded, right? To be like, yeah, all right, I get it. Like, I'm enjoying the bullshit no one cares about the Star Wars universe, and then to be acknowledged finally, to have someone say to you,
Finally
"No,
Disney's
Jesse."
like, all of that
Okay.
matters, yo. It's all in it. Literally, even the smallest shit. In the new Battlefront trailer, there's like a red dude. He's like in it for a quick second. There's a red dude, but he has like the Emperor's face. That's just a thing they created for the comics that's like an Emperor droid that has his face and he like goes around the galaxy giving orders. And I'm like, even that's fucking in it? Ah! Oh, yeah. So y'all don't even know how happy I am. So I'm in. I'm excited. Thank you. You know what? I'm going to say this without sarcasm. Thanks, Disney. You're not effing this up. Also, real talk. The amount of women they're including in the new Star Wars canon is like next level. From the main storylines to all the expanded universe stuff. There's a lot of like Imperial ladies now too. So,
Sick.
Yeah, I think people are starting to clue into that we think that's a thing that we're interested in seeing more of. Like that the Empire, I guess if you're going to have an Empire that's like already xenophobic, you might as well like balance it out a little bit by at least throwing in some human ladies. So that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, and there's a lot of women of color in there now. Like my God, it's pretty funny to see the Empire finally fleshed out instead of like it's just stormtroopers and old white dudes. It's like it clearly couldn't be only that. That's not all who exists in the galaxy. They're racist against aliens, not humans, right?
Yeah.
So
tiny fraction of humanity if you just go for old white dudes.
Even the small, it's like we are very, very racist. Like, no. Oh no, I vanished.
Oh, no. God, they
I'm
shut
back
you
now.
down.
Yeah.
The Empire got
me.
you.
The Empire
All of
got you.
that shit. Yeah. So, dude, I'm excited. I think it's great, and I love everything they're doing with it. So, hey, good work, Disney. Also, there's an Obi-Wan movie coming out.
Oh,
That takes place.
I did not know this.
is there?
Apparently, it takes place between episode 3 and 4, and it's like just by himself being an old badass.
So are they bringing? Is it Ewan McGregor? Or are they?
I
it's
literally don't know.
That'd be weird if we got
so.
a third Obi-Wan, but because
I would
it's
assume
between
so.
them, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And all I want to know is, I don't care what the story's about, just as long as by the end we finally get an answer of how a guy who at the end of episode 3 is, let's say, maybe late 30s, and at the start of episode 4 is old and gray.
No. So I
need an
saw
answer.
this.
I need an answer
Somebody
to this.
Somebody did it. I saw this post come up recently because it came up a while ago, but it came up again. I saw it on Twitter. Someone posted a picture of Bale Antilles, right? Of like, here's what Bale used to look like, and then here's the same period of time. He looks pretty much the same. And then there's Obi-Wan, and they were like, well, listen, one of them spent all that time on Alderaan drinking fucking kale smoothies, and the other one was on literal desert hell planet. So that'll age your shit pretty good.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. Also, we may not know that though. Shout out to my number one theory, Rey Kenobi. Shout out to that. If Obi-Wan went and bang zoned some chick on Tatooine, bang zoned. That is the location in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
If you've never been there, it's the best part of Tatooine. It's between the Jutland Wastes and Mos Eisley. It's the bang zone.
If you're gonna go, you might as well hang out at the bang zone.
Yeah.
What they call Jabba's Palace. It's like in that area. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Palace
telling you,
adjacent.
I'm okay with all of this. I'm okay that Han Solo gets a movie and it's actually going to be about his origins, which I already know. So I'm like, I want to see this on the screen.
I saw that the dude who plays Omar in The Wire, what's his Michael Williams, I think. Dude who plays Omar in The Wire is going to be in that Han Solo movie, and I'm so excited about that shit. He is great.
Also, the fact that they cast an actress, but they won't reveal who she is.
Yeah, Rose.
But I'm convinced. Not her. No, in the Han Solo movie.
Oh, the Han Solo
I'm convinced that it's the woman who Han Solo fake marries in order to like get out of trouble, which would be amazing. Because shout out to the comics for like everything coming together, y'all.
Do you think we're gonna get any of that Han Solo trilogy like book action in this movie, or do you think they're just gonna be like?
I think it's gonna be more comic-y Han Solo. It's basically as far as all they need to do is hit on the points that 1, he was an Imperial officer or cadet. 2, he was stationed on Kashyyyk. 3, he saves Chewbacca. 4, Chewie and Han go on crazy adventures and meet Lando and end up with the Millennium Falcon after a game of cards, essentially. The end. That's all they need to. I don't care what the fuck else happens in the movie. It could literally be like buddy comedy the movie, and I'd be like, great, cool. Get those 4 things and we good. Yeah, I'm ready.
Didn't they say that they're gonna like reveal Han Solo's real name?
They said you're going to find out how he got the name Han Solo, and I hope it's literally his mom going, your name is Han Solo.
Exactly.
That would be amazing.
Oh,
what
my
a
God,
the huge reveal of how he got the name Han Solo. Oh, what's the name of your kid? I'm going to name him Han. Cool.
Yeah, if they do some bullshit like his name was Cadet John Smithington, I'd be like, fuck you, Star Wars. Fuck you. I hate you so much.
His name used to be Hans Olo, and then he cleverly moved the S over, and now he's good to go.
What if it was like Han Solowitz, and then he just changed it when he joined the Empire? Because they're like, Solowitz? No, you're Han Solo.
To be cooler.
Like this guy. Yeah.
To what hide his space Hebrew past?
His space Judaism.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna join the space Nazis, you probably don't want to have a last name like Solowitz.
That's what I'm saying. Then it becomes like a Lifetime movie of the week at that point. But whatever. Yeah. So look, there's so much stuff coming down the pipeline for like the next 15 fucking years. Y'all don't even know. I need to not be killed in that time. I'm gonna just cryogenically freeze me, wake me up when a new movie comes out, freeze me again. Just keep this cycle going.
Is this a thing that you're legitimately worried about dying in the next 15 years?
Yo, I need to see these movies. I can't not. All right. Then when if they start sucking again, fucking blast me off to the moon.
I like how all it took was like some good Star Wars movies to really bring home the fear of death in you.
You don't understand.
Nothing else. I need this. Just a great plan for future Star Wars movies strikes the fear of death to your very core.
Some people let me live through this.
Yeah, some people live for their children. Some people live for their art.
Those. I don't got that.
Jesse Cox lives for Star Wars. You gotta have something.
Damn right.
You gotta have something. Yeah.
Give me something. Yeah. Thank you. That's all I need.
I'm into it. Well, I hope you don't die in the next 15 years, Jesse.
You and me both, man. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Dodger, you were telling me about a game before the break, and I want to know more about this Battle Brothers business. You've been playing some of that. What's that about? Tell me.
Oh, I've only played it in a very limited fashion. I played it for like an hour and a half this morning. Sam played like 6 hours of it yesterday.
Well, seeing as how you're one person, go ahead and just both of you tell me about this game.
Sam, do you wanna take the lead on this? I think you'll be able to talk about it better than me.
She figured out more about the game in the hour she played than I did.
Tag team that shit. Do it.
Yeah, earlier, like before we started the show, I was saying that it has some kind of like Darkest Dungeon elements to it because it's another one of those games where it's like you put together, you have like a group of mercenaries. You need to outfit them with the best gear that you can, and you basically just take on like quests, contracts from nobles in the area, who say like, I just need a band of who's its and what's its to go do this thing. And you're like, cool, right. I'll go do it.
On the Craigslist of old, when one looks basically. For bandits.
Ye olde Craigslist.
Yeah, it's named after Lord Craig. It's his list. Yeah. Okay.
It's got that great element where you can rename all of your characters. So there's that. Always love that. And people will die. You will not, unless you're incredible at this game and have fantastic luck, your dudes will die. And you have to just like accept that and try to eke out a living and have, enough money to get better gear so that maybe less of your dudes will die, etc. But
does it do the Domina thing where it like auto pulls from like subs or chat, or do you just manually?
No, you like name them yourself.
Yeah, you name them, you gear them up, you choose what role you want them to fill, and then it's like a turn-based tactics game, but it's kind of brutal. For instance, there's decapitations. If you deliberately decapitate someone, you like reduce the enemy's morale.
As opposed to accidentally decapitating.
Yeah, as opposed to accidentally doing it.
Sure.
And stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool.
I have a hard time. Getting really through a day without accidentally decapitating somebody.
Me too.
So how much control do you actually have of the game, or is it just like guys go do the thing?
Oh, you have complete control over like where they go, what ability they use. Whether they defend or attack or get ready to, attack, assuming that somebody else attacks them. Like there's a variety of things that you can tell them to do. But it has that same RNG element where like you can hover over the baddies, the bad guys, and it'll tell you, you have a 60% chance to hit this guy, but a 30% chance to hit this guy.
So a group of mercenaries that are intentionally going around decapitating people are not the bad guys in this game.
No, we're the good guys.
Right, of course.
Not when there's like orcs, skeletons, werewolves, and God knows what else jumping out at you.
Yeah. That's racist. Skeletons, orcs, and werewolves can all be good guys. It sounds like you play the evil characters in this game.
It sounds like skeletons can never be a good guy.
No, you're not pro skeleton?
No.
There's a skeleton inside of you right now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I rest my case.
It's his internal struggle. Yeah.
You can't just end an argument by saying I rest my case and then looking smugly at the camera.
I rest my case.
That's not how that works.
He does. That's how he wins every time.
Get it? Because I
rest my case.
I rest my case.
I rest my case.
And then like a little twinkle, twing.
Yeah. Fair. I don't know how the English legal system works. Maybe that's how it goes. Maybe it's the first person to say I rest my case.
Yeah, it's literally the first one to say it wins.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I think everybody kind of knows what I'm going to say, but the thing that's been taking up most of my time is Persona. Yeah. I've been like hardcore in that, having a grand old time playing that game. So
sometimes she has a grand old time.
Every now and then I have a fight where I have to do the fight a few times in a row, and I'm just like, fuck. But normally,
I'm gonna read you guys a brief excerpt.
Go on.
Where are we here? Wednesday, 10:57. When you get home, can you just strangle me, please? Me, confused. Maybe this is a kink thing. I'm not sure. I just put question mark. I've spent all goddamn night doing the same fucking boss fight. I want to die. Just put me out of my damn misery. 45 minutes later. Oh my god, I did it. Crying emoji. Crying emoji. Crying emoji.
I'm so happy
of you reading text.
Huh?
Yeah, I just want this show.
Text messages from a relationship.
For anybody who's curious, no spoilers, that was the second major boss that I had been trying to fight for quite a while. I know that Jesse also had trouble with that boss.
That guy.
I will. Yes, I will agree. That is not an easy fight.
Man.
Especially if you go in and you forgot to give anybody group healing and you just have to one person heal the whole fight. It's not fun.
Here's the thing that I have gone into pretty much every fight with none of, I never have any of the like resurrection beans or any of that stuff. So if somebody dies, I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to fight this thing with 3 people.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not a good place to be in. I should really prep that a bit better. I normally have tons of healing, either like spell healing or item healing. Don't have anything to resurrect a dude if they die.
I feel like
Oh.
the Persona series is maybe the only Japanese role-playing game I can think of where shit like buffing and debuffing and like all those abilities you never use in Final Fantasy, where you're like, oh,
Are
cool,
so useful
yeah,
in Persona.
I can increase my to hit bone. Ah, fuck that thing. I'm just gonna fire 3 you again. But in Persona, you have to use them. You have to like very delicately balance all that shit, and like right away too. I love that, and I don't know why other games aren't more like that. But,
yeah, like attack down debuffs on like an enemy that just because I've seen a couple of different articles talk about like there are just sprinkles of fights that you'll do that feel so unfair because if it strikes in just the right way, because if your main character dies, then you're just a wash.
Yeah. Sometimes Archangel will just hit you with the thing you're weak to, and it's an insta kill at the beginning of the fight, and you're like, thanks, game.
Yeah, exactly. So if you hop into a fight and they just happen to one hit kill you at the beginning of the fight, you're like, what? Yeah. So yeah, abilities like, okay, I want this guy to have way decreased attack for 3 rounds. Like that kind of shit can just save you, absolutely save you. Or like increased evasion for one character who just keeps getting hit. You're just like, oh my God, they're saving me. I'm so happy. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, besides the wanting to be strangled to death, you're enjoying it? You're having a good time?
Yes, it's very fun. I feel like, I think you mentioned this last week, but I feel like the characters are fleshed out so much better in this game than in other Personas. Like I feel everybody has a lot of dimension to them, and I love all of them, and I want them all to be happy. Yeah. I just love every character. I'm like, all of you, can you all just be really happy at the end of this? I don't know if I'll get that wish, but yeah.
Yeah. Have they announced if they're doing a like an anime for Persona 5?
I assume they will, because even though the Persona 4 anime was garbage, it did really well. So, look, I'm just talking truth right now. That's anime fair. Is awful. But
that's fair. That's fair. What's weird is that I saw that anime before I played Persona 4.
How did you feel about it having no like base to work with?
I mean, the things that I didn't like I didn't like in the game either. The game was obviously much better because there's a difference between like a, however many hours long anime and then like the game, which was 1,000,000 years long. So They had a lot more room to move around. I don't remember like hating it, but I also had never played the game first. So
I think, it really doesn't work for an anime because there's such a focus on like in these games. I feel like I've talked about this so much on my own streams. So sorry if you've heard me say this 1,000,000 times, but those games have such a focus on like, okay, half of this game is you strengthening bonds with people. And that's like super important because of all of these reasons, right? And then the other half of the game is fights. In an anime, it just feels like, why the fuck are you guys going to the hot springs when you need to save people? Like, what are you doing? Right? There's like so many episodes that just feel like nonsense. And then the episodes that feel like they're focusing on the plot. And in the game, you're like, you understand that those things are important because you have more information to work with. And the game like drives it home a bit better.
I think that makes sense. I think what you're describing, though, is a problem that basically every video game with like an urgent plot has, though, where it's like, here's the main quest. The world is going to be destroyed by aliens. You better go fix it. No, where are you going? You're going to go craft some stuff?
Oh, wait,
okay.
Come back. Oh.
That's fine. Never mind. They'll just wait. They'll wait till you're ready. Yeah. Okay.
You go into the diner with your friends?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotta go steady.
I guess like you need a minute. That's sure.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, yeah, I'm curious because for me, like coming into Persona 3, watching the anime first and then having the experience, I want to see it the other way around. I want to play Persona and then see if they can make it not bad. But I think you're right. I think that the characters are making it a lot more fun to engage for sure.
Yeah.
Good morning, Pokket. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing just great over here. I spent 17 hours yesterday.
I know, and that's why. Yeah. How was that? Holding together?
Well, I did my morning coffee where I drink my coffee and wake up and talk to stream, and then my power supply went out. So I went and bought a new one. I installed it while I was streaming because my stream PC is separate, so it's fine. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna play some PlayerUnknown right now, and I just Battlegrounds for like 15 hours. It was ridiculous.
Wow, that's intense.
And
intense.
yeah, apparently, almost like it was 55 hours of just Battlegrounds last week. It was just bad. It was bad.
Yeah, you're pulling a Sam. You're going hard on that shit.
I don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem. You
No
have a
one
problem.
said you did, but now I'm beginning to wonder.
Yeah, I'm a little worried now.
You have a problem. Like great moments in that. So many bugs that you're just like, I hate this so much right now. And then there's like those great moments where even if it's a bug, like I was in a car, I hit a rock. Literally a rock, not a big rock, not like a big rock you hide behind, a rock that you could pick up and throw. I hit a rock in the car, it flipped us into a fence, and our car exploded. And killed all of us. And I'm just like, all right, I guess that happens. So there's like great moments that are just derpy and fun, and then there's some where I'm just raging so bad.
There's a line in games, I think, where you don't want to it's the Bethesda line. You don't want to cross it into like, this is annoying and I hate this, but you can approach it and be like, this game wrecking bug is kind of funny. Like, let's just enjoy it for what it is as I fly off into space. Yeah, and I think it's different with a competitive game. Like, have you run into a bug that like lost you a game yet, where you were like doing great and then the bug just screwed you out of a potential win? Because
There's been a few that I don't know if they're bugs so much, it's just unclear, where like one of my pet peeves is when you're playing a game that involves shooting and you can aim and see someone perfectly, but then you shoot and it'll hit objects in front of you instead.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't look like it's going to do that whenever you're aiming. Just when you're shooting it, you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just hit that thing that's not even in my sights right now.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And now I've given away my position, so I guess I have to fucking move.
And then you're aiming at, just turn at you and just headshot you, and you're like, oh.
Well, at least you killed that counter. So nice work.
And that's happened a few times where I'm just like, oh man, this is such a pet peeve. Or one where you get fully geared and then the game freezes, and you're like, oh,
yes,
right, about that.
Yeah, you're like in that top 20. You got the good armor, you got the good helmet, you got all the shit you need, and then, and then the server crashes. Well, I mean, I guess that's the price of early access that we pay.
Yeah.
Obviously you're either having a good time playing it or you're an incredibly huge masochist. Either way, good on you.
I feel like a little bit of both. I did take a frying pan and one shot my friend who had a helmet on, so that was fun.
Ah, sick. Nice.
I didn't know you could do that, and then I was like, oh, this is actually overpowered. I should start grabbing these.
Melee is a thing that needs to get rebalanced, I think, for sure. Because after the very early parts, there's sort of no reason to use it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be like the axe in DayZ, where I remember once I had an axe. I ran up to a helicopter, someone was flying away, and I hit it and blew us both up. I one-shot a helicopter with an axe, and I'm like, well then, today I learned how to take helicopters.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Yeah. It's a fun game, and I've been playing with like a lot of others, randomly playing with other streamers that are getting into it as well. So it's fun when you can get like the community going.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, because it's so similar to other games that have been really popular, I think a lot of folks are kind of initially were dismissing it. They were like, oh, just another one of these things. But it does seem to have some sticking power. Like every time I go on Twitch, it's in the top 3 or whatever for number of people watching. So yeah, I wonder why that is. I wonder why it's still. I guess people just really like watching gameplay of that kind, and this is just the current version of that.
What was TB saying yesterday, Jesse? That apparently it looks like the numbers suggest that Europeans are more into King of the Kill.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
He was wrong.
Oh shit!
It's Chinese.
Oh,
China?
That's what he said at the end. He said it could. He said maybe it's not the European. Maybe
because I told him in the chat. But their Chinese player base is so big that they have to put their patch notes out in Mandarin.
Oh, interesting.
Literally, more than half the player base is Chinese at this point.
Yeah, that's what he said at the end. You're right.
Okay.
That's why when people kill you, they stand and they go, China #1! Like that over and over again. And it's like a
That's
meme
what they
in
do.
the game. Yeah,
That's what
they
they
literally
do.
do that. And if they go to kill you and you say China #1, they'll spare your life and move on.
What?
It's a legitimate thing. If they go to kill you and you go China 1, they'll go, "That's right, bitch," and then they just run off. I'm not
That
even
sounds
kidding.
awful. I'm really glad that I have voice chat
exactly how it
off.
happens in H1Z1.
Yeah, what?
That's
Wow.
right, bitch.
Literally, if you Google it, there's just a million clips.
I mean, I'm gonna have to take
So
your word
funny.
for it. I'm gonna have to take your word for it. But yeah, well, that's interesting, right? Because like, and I think that's a thing, right? And the idea that like we have these ideas that oh, okay, the people watching this stuff are North American or European or whatever, but yeah, huge audiences, and they don't just watch, StarCraft and League of Legends. So yeah, interesting to see if it manages to stick around or if it kind of like fades out like all the rest. But in the interim, I guess we can play it and enjoy it.
Because they are really responsive to the people playing the game, and really responsive to like feedback for bugs that are happening that are kind of like they make the game less fun. And so they've been really good about that, and I think that's huge in games like this. And a huge example of the opposite is DayZ Standalone. So
Right. Yeah. I think you're right. I think that's how you survive early access. You beat ARC. You're like, look, new stuff. Yes, we're listening. Here's some new things. Rather than like, Reign of Kings, where you're like, okay, well, we're done. Never mind. Here's the game.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
pretty
Yeah.
much. So,
Interesting.
and I think that's it's been a lot of fun, and they fixed quite a few bugs, and it seems like they've been responsive about some of the gun balancing as well, and so stuff like that's really important if you're getting into a game and you're like, well, this gun's busted. But a huge issue, actually, the most game-breaking issue is the client-side lag, where you will look like you're shooting someone. I have a clip. I have a great gun. They had a pistol. I shot them 4 times. They didn't die. They shot me and killed me, and I was just like, oh. Okay,
Sure.
I guess that works. Sure. And I went back and even slow-moed it, and I'm like, no, 4 times it connected to that person, and they pulled out a pistol and just headshot me. And they've addressed it, and they know it's an issue. So,
Well, that's good.
yeah, at least they've done that.
Cool. I'm glad you're digging it. I'm glad it's still like a fun thing to play after the however long few weeks, months that it's been out.
I have a lot of hours. Let's just say that in this game already. I have
Well,
a problem.
well, good luck in your future murder endeavors, I guess.
Thank
I hope
you.
you murder everyone quickly.
Oh,
Good.
we went against another streamer crew yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Shorty and his crew, and we were in the finals together, and we got
sick.
But it was awesome to be like, oh, that's Mr. Grimm's and Shorty, and then we all died. But it was a fun moment to die to them because I'm friends with them, but they're really good at the game.
Right.
Yeah, that's my.
It is always better to get killed by your friends than random strangers, I guess.
I guess.
No,
I guess.
that's Caesar. That's not good. It's so not good that they have a whole thing based off of it.
Yeah,
March is a bad
he
time
said
for friendship murders.
no, when he said "et tu, Brute," he was excited. He was like,
Yeah,
"You too?"
That's yeah, exactly.
Brutus,
That's
sick.
Latin. Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're number
Brutus,
one.
you
I'm
too?
number 2.
Oh, Brutus, you too? I'm so glad all of my friends are in on this.
It's like a surprise party, but you
Yeah.
die at the
"Et tu?"
Yeah.
Rad.
end. Yep. Well, let's play some Nebula Jazz, shall we? Get back into it. I believe that we left off on Quinn's quest. Now I'm curious because there's a lot of stuff going on your home planet here, Quinn. And as we begin our episode, as the sort of title and credits fade out, we fade in on the blasted ruined surface of Slyn. These like red kind of like rust sand dunes, the blowing wind, that sort of George Lucas-esque like random animal like monster creature in the foreground as we pass by. And in the background we can see the six towers of the trials off in the faded sort of matte painting distance. And we continue the pan across. And I guess we see Quinn and the gang because you've left your sister's home behind. And where are you going? What is the plan here? And maybe Quinn, you're explaining, because I don't think Rex, Eugene, and Aurora know what the hell's going on either. Maybe you're explaining to them like what's happening. Where are you taking your friends? What's the plan here on Slyn?
So I believe we were told where we could take the scepter to get it scanned or researched or whatever but we were not allowed to go. Like, she wouldn't take us there because we were already causing too much of a stir. I still want to go there. I still want to go do that. Even if I have to barge in and cause some shit to happen, we're going to do what I said we're going to do, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, you're on your way to the site of your disgrace, right? Like there's maybe we see it in the distance, the council hall of the 12 Serpentis. Now the last remaining Serpentis, the Lady Vaj Zapothar, who you believe is responsible for your betrayal and disgrace. You're headed back to this horrible place. And yeah, I guess as you're traveling across these sort of empty wastelands, I don't know, is anyone in the group curious about this? Like, Quinn is just taking you to this place. You know Quinn is an exile here. Are y'all just going along, or?
I figure, we're going to the most impressive looking place out here, so like probably gonna be some cash.
Sure.
Right?
That's
like
fair.
there might be something that I could snag while he's, doing his dramatic shit. I might be able to find a thing that I could snag, like, for the group. Okay. For the group, Let's double down on our shit while we're here,
Mm-hmm. So you're happy to tag along because you think you'll be able to steal something
I'm
valuable.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And Rex, I imagine you're just here to like look out for your buddy Quinn, right?
Yeah. And also, like, I mean, we're probably more hated than Quinn is, even though Quinn's an exile. So we do well to stick with him.
I mean that's
that too. Yeah,
that's the thing you could think. I mean, Quinn is known by basically everyone in this world as being a turncoat and at least partially responsible for the fall of the Empire. Everyone is very angry and upset that he even exists.
I mean, but from what I've seen, Quinn is also significantly larger than every other lizard we've encountered. So I'm sticking with my boy.
Right, of course. Rex has simple priorities. Quinn is bigger than everyone else, so whatever.
So we win.
Yeah, that's it. GG.
Yeah, and that's true too. Like Quinn is, and we talked a little bit about this last time. Quinn is the last remaining of his bloodline, right? Like there's no others of the type of lizard man that he is, this sort of guardian subspecies. So yes, I guess that is true. He's quite a bit larger than the creatures you've seen. So
also,
far.
I might bump into his sister again. So just
that's a good euphemism for it. You might, yes.
She has a mate, Rex.
Yeah.
He's a fucking weed.
This fucking guy.
All right?
Wow.
Like you, Eugene.
Just eat him.
You drank his beer.
Oh,
like,
no, my heart.
That's
so offended. Fuck, how will I ever get over this feeling of inadequacy? Shit.
Whoa, wait, hold on. Can we take a moment? You just scolded this man for trying to get with a mate when you banged a little marsupial
for the group.
Not a few episodes ago.
Everything I do.
You slimed marsupial
not for us.
4 episodes ago.
For our group.
How dare you?
Yep.
Meanwhile, I think Aurora's kind of in La La Land. I'm just going to say that. I think she's still processing what happened on her own planet, that she does not really like, she's just sort of like walking in the back, and it seems like she's just a giant space cadet. Like she's just walking along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Sparky. Yeah, Sparky's like running around at your feet and like excited to be outside, running around even in a deserted, blasted wasteland. And it's like chasing little lizard rats around because everything on this planet is a reptile, I guess. But also like taking scans of the planet and uploading information back to your homeworld. So the group of you, we can see this wasteland in the distance, and we get the long shot out as we start tight in and then pull out to see all these kind of ruined buildings. Then they have kind of a like a southwestern American, like northern Mexico kind of like look, like all like adobe kind of colors, and there are like the Anasazi, these kinds of like caves cut into the walls. Yeah, big like Grand Canyon-y looking color palettes. Only the sky is obscured by constant like rusty looking dust storms. And then the group of you are passing out through this thing, and then we see behind you, following you, a group, and none of you are aware of this yet, but there's a group of maybe like a half dozen like dark figures, and they're obviously sort of like stalking you through the wasteland. We can only kind of see them as shadows, but the shot and the soundtrack especially make it clear that you are being pursued by some shadowy force. And so we get a wipe to the same scene, but now the palette is all like indigo and purple and blue. And the sky, there's a brief break in the storms at night, and so we can see the constellations of Slyn above you. And you're all sitting around a campfire, because that's what happens when you go on journeys together. And so you're just like sitting around a campfire. And so what's everybody doing? You're taking the night to rest under this kind of rocky like outcropping, and so we get this little like patch of firelight. And what's everybody doing?
I'm not participating quite as much in whatever is going on with everybody else, because the longer that we've been walking through this gross like sandy wasteland, I've started to look grosser and sandier, and I don't like that feeling. I'm not in a good way. I'm not mentally in a good place. So I'm kind of trying to just like work the sand out of my body, which to everybody else just looks like I'm kind of doing this shit. But like, I'm trying to just, because by the time we get there, I might as well just be a ball of sand. Nah,
right.
I'm not about that life. So
right, it's like taking a ball of goo and just rolling around in the dirt all day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're an inside slime, not an outside slime.
I'm not made for this shit. No. So I'm doing some self-care. I'm having some me time, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. So you're kind of off to the side. Maybe that's what we see you like kind of like disgorging the sludge from your body as best you can.
I just look like I'm like vibrating in a fucking odd way that kind of makes people feel sick to look at. So
Yep. All right. Aurora, what are you doing? Are you like playing with Sparky? Are you kind of like looking out at the stars? What's up with you?
I think I'm sort of like looking down at my Pip-Boy, and I'm just going like this, and I'm reading through about 115 messages from that guy that really likes me, and I told him to come help me.
Totally. Yeah.
Anything else?
So Dango Keel, traveling hypnotist. He sent you a message that was like, "I'm here. Where are you?" Because he went to your home planet to come and find you.
But it didn't stop there. When I didn't answer the call thing, it just didn't stop. It just kept going and going. So, and I just ignored them. And now that I have a moment, I'm just sort of reading through all of them, going, and just like slowly deleting every single one of them.
Ice cold, man.
Dango, yeah.
I haven't decided what I'm gonna do about that yet, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
I like how as you go, y'all are just like collecting NPCs that are just like slightly pissed off by you.
I was about to say, at a certain point, this is going to turn into Scott Pilgrim, and we're going to have to go against the League of X's.
Yeah,
and it's going to be just
Dango
awful.
and Raul, and like there's just a collection of slightly pissed off NPCs that eventually will all meet and then come to destroy you. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you're looking over your messages from Dango. And yeah, you haven't had any communication from home in a long time. Your grandpa hasn't checked in, and you're just kind of like out here on this weird desert planet with your friends, feeling maybe a little lonely. And so yeah, there's a sort of subdued vibe to the camp as we pan over to Quinn and Rex. Quinn, what are you doing? You haven't been home in a long time, and like you haven't seen the stars of Slyn since, I don't know how long. When was the last time you were back here? How long ago?
50 years, I believe we said. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
The lifespan of my people is very long, and but because we were and / are a war-like race, even though we live for a long time, we really don't. We tend to die quite frequently. But our average lifespan's pretty long.
It's like Haldir in Lord of the Rings. He dies, and you're like, oh, what a waste. What a fucking waste. Spoilers, Haldir dies.
Guys, Right on
Sorry.
that wall. It sucks. Right on that wall. Terrible. Just terrible.
So yeah, I mean, are you sharing, like, is this one of these like that star is like, what are you like sharing a story of your past, or are you kind of keeping to yourself? What's Quinn's vibe here? Because obviously, like, is nostalgia a thing that Quinn feels for being home?
Yeah, Quinn is like sitting up on a rock, and even though he's attempting to appear that he's like staring at the stars and sort of really excited to be home, out of the corner of his eye, he keeps looking over at this big, giant complex in the distance that is where he knows he has to go. But he also knows that by going there, shit is going to go down, and he's just not sure he's ready for the insanity that's about to ensue. He hates the fact that everyone is calling him the Blick Snort. He doesn't want to have anything to do with any of this. All he wants to do is get in, get out, and leave, because there's a reason he hasn't come back. His sister just told him that he's like a walking disaster, and he just wants to get out of here, and he hates everything about his homeworld.
Cool. I'm gonna offer you a compel.
Damn it. Yeah.
I'm gonna offer you a compel as the disgraced guardian of the 12 Serpentes to tell us a story, Quinn. Like, have Quinn tell Rex a story about like past glories. I would like to see something that Quinn remembers as being like a reason to be here and like care about the planet. Now you can resist the compel. You can say like, no, Quinn just like keeps it to himself. But I would love to see Quinn open up a little to Rex.
Sure. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Quinn does. God, what is a good story for Rex?
So Rex is like kicking it back, and you can see like the concern on Quinn's face, and like he's not a big fan of the deserts. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, you're just like, oh god.
Yeah. And Shockmen too live a very long time. Rex was here about 40 years ago, plowing your sister.
As people do, apparently.
He's just kicking back, and he kind of looks over, and he's like, "Is it how you remember it?"
Rex sort of like looks Rex. Shit. Quinn looks over at Rex and gives like a breathy sigh and stares up at the stars and says, "It wasn't always like this. There was a time when there were rivers and oceans and lush trees. That time is long past. There was a time when we would feast for days and parties involving all sorts of wild debauchery. You would have loved it. But that time has passed. We were a great empire once, but no more." And he like sort of just like rolls over.
Rex kind of like picks up like a handful of sand and kind of like lets it run through his hand, and he's like, "I mean, what's tying you here then? What's left for you?"
And even though he's not facing you, Quinn says, a dream of what could have been. That's it.
Nice.
That's all he says, and he like sort of just stares off and then is quiet again.
Rex just kind of shrugs and throws his hands back and looks up at the sky. You can hear Eugene in the background.
Vibrating.
Yeah.
It's just it's a gross sound. It's gross to look at. Don't pay attention to me.
Stop looking
I'm
at
having
me.
me time. God.
Don't observe the cleaning ritual.
God.
So gross.
So we
Like somebody violently shaking Jello. You're just like, stop.
we pan up to the stars, and we get like that obvious kind of like time is passing as the stars sort of move through the sky, and the moon like goes through, and then we pan back down, and we still hear the like wiggling slime noise. Now Aurora, we see Aurora, like curled up next to the fire with Sparky in sleep mode, under her arm. Rex and Quinn are both asleep, and Eugene, you're like almost clean, like you're picking the last little like bits of dust out of your corpus.
Right. Finally starting to feel like myself again.
Yeah,
I like the idea that like Eugene sleeps and his body just like cleans while he's asleep.
in cleaning mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Eugene, you hear a sound like some stones like clattering or something out in the darkness near your camp, your little camp. You just hear a noise. It might be just an animal or something, but you hear a sound.
I would like to observe my surroundings somehow.
Yeah, you're just gonna be like take a look around.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about
I
how
mean,
slimes.
I would say I'd like to roll perception, but I don't think
that's not how it
applies here.
works. Yeah, you just tell me what you want. So let's talk about how Eugene perceives things, because you don't have eyes, right? Now, do you to perceive light? Do you create sense organs as you need them? Is everything like vibration? How does Eugene envision the world? Because I feel like that might be important for us to understand.
It's mostly vibrations. Because like basically Eugene is like a giant brain, like we've discussed that before. Yeah. So things that interact like obviously he can feel things. That's his strongest sense. Mm-hmm. And most of that is just like what hits his body, whether it's sound, whether it's actual like physical touch, and he's able to kind of like create in that way.
So your whole body is one multi-purpose sense organ, whether it's for vibration or photons or heat or whatever. Okay.
That's why it sucks to have like stuff, right? Like walking through the sand and having all of this just like gross stuff in me. It makes it so that it's really hard to perceive anything. I just feel like off. So
nice. I like that. Yeah. I like the idea too that if you got like a piece of grit or something stuck in you for long enough, it would turn into a beautiful green pearl. Slime pearls.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you can't get all of it, right?
Right. The largest slime pearl ever known was an asteroid that crashed into your home planet, and then over 1 billion years was turned into this beautiful, like mile-long pearl. Wow, I like it. That's canon now. That's a thing. Just gonna write down slime pearls, and then later in like a year, I will look through this notebook and be like, "What the fuck were we talking about?" Yeah, like pearls before slime. So you feel the vibrations of a disturbance out in the darkness, and so you take a minute to like attune yourself to you stop jiggling for a moment, and kind of open up your sensory surface to the world around you. Make a careful roll, and let's say difficulty 3. Difficulty 3, careful.
2.
All right. So it's your choice here. If you want to invoke a fate point there and either reroll or use an aspect to give yourself a +2. Otherwise, you will be at a disadvantage.
Well, I'd like to. I would want this to create an aspect, I think.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, I need to win, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to invoke Disgusting Coward because I'm like, right? If there's something that could attack us, everybody else is fucking asleep. I'm all by myself. Like, there's part of me that's just like, don't make any moves. See if you can hear anything else. Am I safe? Am I not safe?
Right, your prey instinct kicks in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what do you want to call
a puddle and hope nobody notices me?
Yeah, what do you want to call this aspect?
Let's call it dead silence.
Okay, perfect. All right, so the quiet, and you have one free invoke of it for this scene. Okay. So yeah, you tune yourself to the silence, and I think you can hear the very quiet, like imperceptible to most sentience ability to perceive things. You hear this like very faint hissing of scales on sand, and you can see out in the darkness. You can see figures approaching slowly, and whether it's hard for you to know whether they can see you or not. But you do have like a moment that you can like act or, What do you want to do?
Well, I know I'm not very fast, and I have multiple people to wake up because they're like stepping up on us, right? Like they're coming.
They're not like rushing towards you, but you can sense movement in the darkness, like something. There's multiple things that are approaching, and they're approaching stealthily.
Okay. I'm trying to decide, just so everybody knows my thought process right now. I'm trying to decide, is it more beneficial for me to kind of like try to casually wake people up, or would it be better for me to utilize the fact that nobody on this planet shows any fucking emotion and just scream?
The other thing to consider too is that if you're the only one engaging with the problem, you may be able to use your stunt to talk your way out of it. So
That's true.
Yeah.
But I would not if I would never go into a situation on my own unless I absolutely had to. Let's be real. So, who is closest to me? We're around like a campfire, right? Would I have enough time to like individually wake everyone up?
No, because you're being observed. So the one thing you do will be the thing that you do, and you got to hope that they don't get mad about you trying to wake somebody up. You could pick one person and like poke them or whatever and try to like get them to wake up. Yeah.
I'm gonna go over to Quinn and put like, and hope he doesn't fucking freak out. I'm gonna put some of my slime over his mouth so that he doesn't like, you know how sometimes you in a movie you would wake somebody up and you don't want them to scream or like make a crazy noise. I'm gonna put some of my slime over his mouth and just put a little mouth next to his ear and say, "We got company, buddy," and then just.
Okay, so you can
try to just like chill, like, oh, it's not weird that I'm walking over here.
So you start to move and like extrude a tentacle in Quinn's direction.
Sure.
And I think that and you can still do it. You still like, I'm not going to take away your advantage of dead silence or whatever, but you hear a like the sound of like compressed air or something, like a sudden like sound, and in the dirt between you and Quinn you see a like a dart, and it suddenly like appears, like you don't see it like fly, it's just there all of a sudden, and it like bounces off a rock near you and embeds in the dirt, and it's meant to like warn you off. Like you start reaching for Quinn and then there's this like thing to try to get you to pull your hand back. Someone has like fired it, and then you see at the edge of the firelight a serpentine like shape appear. It's a woman, like serpent person. It looks a bit like Quinn's sister, but her scales are all black, and she's quite a bit taller. She's wearing a like a bandolier with some darts on it, and on her forearm there's some kind of complicated looking like crossbow device that she's just fired this dart. And she looks at you and hisses, and quietly she says, "Do not wake the betrayer. We have no quarrel with you, slime. But he is our quarry." And she looks at you, and you can hear like other hissing, kind of like around the camp as these other sort of like viper assassin ladies like start to approach.
Shit.
I'd like to make a compel. I like to compel your disgusting cowardness. You immediately run. You're like, oh, and you just get out. Viper assassins, you're out. You're out. You don't even stop to like. You scream and run away.
I scream and run away? Sure. Yes, I'll take it.
That's my compel for you. You scream and run away.
Okay. My scream is, "You guys might want to wake up right about now," and then I start fucking wiggling off.
Waving the arms as well, just because.
It's just, look, I've been doing some weird wiggle shit for the entire day. It just looks like more of that.
All I can picture is like, you know those blow up things at like car sales.
Yeah,
things?
inflatable arm.
Inflatable arm men. Yeah, that's just what you look like.
Okay, well, you've broken the dead silence.
I've broken the dead silence.
And you like run off waving your tentacles. One of the vipers, she turns to go after you, and the leader just puts her hand up and she's like, "No, let him go." And the others, as a group of you awaken, you see that your camp is surrounded by these black serpent women. What do you all do?
I watch Eugene run.
Yeah,
Just
Eugene is
really
fleeing
utterly
into the
confused.
desert.
I'm confused at what I'm seeing right now, and then I look at the serpent women, also confused. Like, what did you guys do to them?
Rex hasn't moved. He's still got his hands behind his head, and he's like
Too
peeking
cool.
through one eye, but it looks like, for all intents and purposes, he's still asleep.
He's too
Okay,
cool
roll,
for this world.
roll your sneaky. We'll see if you fool them. The difficulty is, let's see here. Ooh,
Whoa,
they
shit.
are highly perceptive. All right, difficulty is 6 for sneaky Rex.
Fuck. All right. Well, yeah. No. They clearly see me open one eye.
Yeah. So you're like, and then right there's one of them like over you, pointing her like crossbow thing at you. And she looks at you and she grins with her like serpent mouth and says, "Don't move, handsome."
You gotta
and,
make every lizard. Jesus.
It's been this.
They have a
been
thing on
established-
sharks, man. I
It's
don't
been
know.
established that Rex is conventionally attractive to everyone in the universe. That's just
Everyone.
a thing. We just have
Everyone.
to deal with it. That
Every
everyone thinks
single
Rex. Yeah.
Species.
Everyone thinks Rex
It's
is
a
just a little
shark
hot.
man thing.
Yeah, we
You
just
just
can't-
exude like alpha
Damn.
dude, and like
Yeah.
a bad girl loves it. I don't know what it is.
Ladies like a man made of cartilage. They just
Yeah, they do.
they love
They
it.
really do.
skeleton is what it is.
Yeah.
So they've kind of got you like covered, and you don't, I guess, as you wake up, Quinn, as you're awakened, you don't recognize this particular Viper, but you know the cast. You know that they're like the Guardians of the Serpentis. They serve as sort of the assassins of the council. So when the Serpentis needed dirty work done, these Black Vipers were called in to do their work. But it was your impression that when the Serpentis was disbanded, that they died out. But it looks like they're still here. And the woman looking at you, let's get her a name because we're gonna need one. She looks down at you, and she has this look on her face that you've seen many times before, though not in a long time, of like disgust and judgment. Right? You can smell it in her pheromones that she's just like you're pathetic. She has more respect for Eugene, who just ran away, than for you.
Damn. Never in my life.
Yeah.
Can her name be Slarp?
No,
No.
Yes.
Why not?
no.
That's
That's not a lizard assassin. Her name's
No.
Scylla.
Scylla. I like
Slarp.
that.
Can Slarp at least be one of the other ones?
I'm gonna write down Slarp right here.
Can it be the derpy one? Like the
Right
one
now?
that's slightly off?
You know what, Dukes? I'm very impressed with your naming ability. Slarp. Can her name
Slarp.
just be
Slarp.
Slarp?
Her name, the leader of these like Vipers, her name is Lady Zahena, XU''HENA.
Get the fuck out.
Dude, you could have called her Scylla the Killer. What the fuck?
One of them is. She has
Or
a burgeoning rap.
Slarp. The
She has a burgeoning rap career.
Art.
But yeah, you don't know her, but she knows you. Lady Zahena recognizes you, and she. Yeah, I think she looks down at you, and as she says this, her like bracer is kind of like going into shoot mode again. Like you can see it bending and like another dart loading up, and her arm is kind of like coming up, and she looks down at you and she says, "You should not have come here, Quinn." And I think with a tight shot on her angry lizard snake lady face, we fade to break. So we'll take our first break here, and we'll have more Nebula Jazz and Quinn getting in trouble.
And more Slarp.
Slarp,
More
maybe
Slarp.
Slarp.
Slarp, Slarp,
Contain
Slarp, 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 Slarp,
Who
Slarp,
is the
Slarp, Slarp,
mysterious
Slarp,
Slarp?
Slarp, Slarp,
Who
Slarp,
did?
Slarp,
All right, come on back. More Nebula Jazz when we return.